Oh yeah, the Gothenburg one, I can understand
I
that.
totally am okay. I said, I'm totally fine. I got pop in the fridge and food in there.
There you go.
Stay by myself. But that's when all our old people come out is when
I
it's
know, I don't
home.
understand that.
What are you doing out here? And I'm gonna tell you, they leave a 1 foot berm that you have to get off of the street onto the sidewalk of that snow that's right there. It's horrible, so.
And this time it was icy snow.
And yes, and I can't imagine what it's gonna be like if we do get another 6 inches.
I was gonna call the
and
city.
then over that, I'm like,
Oh, Marilyn's gonna call and complain now.
I was gonna call and complain and say, how am I gonna back out of my
no
driveway?
kidding, maybe.
She
And I'm
got
like-
a new one because we made a few minor changes with some wording, but nothing that changes the content of it.
So where does it go?
Trash.
Here?
It is with the overlay district, replacing the existing overlay district.
So, okay,
So we're talking
But the one
about
with the overlay district goes with the other one.
40.
I'm gonna need somebody to draw a picture.
Well,
So it goes on the back of this one. It's on the wrong
On the
one
back of that one
anyway,
goes on the other one.
but it's on the wrong one.
so this one goes with the first one.
It's gonna be worse than reading the newspaper.
There, perfect.
Yeah,
so that goes like that.
I'm just like, rip this
This
off.
goes,
Who's
That's why I
running
don't
this
even bring them,
show?
I just wait. to get
well,
ready.
these
I
were
read
the ones
'em.
that were here. That goes like this,
Yes, perfect.
and
Okay.
this goes like that.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yep, rip them off and change them.
Now, let me ask another stupid question before the cameras come on. Do we have to do the overlay district first before we do the ordinance, or does it
The
matter?
ordinance is
First.
Got it. Clear as mud.
Well, and Judy, didn't you say that the actual overlay district that will be involved hunting throughout the annexation area is a later thing? This is gonna cover all of it.
Yes.
You told me differently a week ago.
I know.
Things change.
Well, a week ago, we didn't have a meeting, so how about that?
I tried.
I did. At that time, I was not lying to you. Today, I would be lying if I told you different.
Oh, it's 5:29.
That's what my phone says. And we trust our cell phones, you know.
Yeah, we do.
Depends on your carrier.
We'll see if it matches that clock up on the wall.
You need a digital clock on the walls.
Why, can't you tell a time on a round one?
Wow, Marilyn.
Holy
Ask a
buckets.
question.
You know I went to St. Pat's, right?
Oh,
So this is how it's gonna go tonight.
call the meeting to order, the special meeting of the North Platte Planning Commission.
Oh, boy.
Roll call, please.
Davies, Winder,
Here.
Fudge,
Present.
Bain,
Here,
Weber, McGann,
Here.
Jett,
Here.
Forbes,
Here.
and Worrell.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted at the back of the council chambers. I assume you've had a chance to read the minutes. They were sent to you. I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved by Fudge, seconded by Jett, to approve the minutes of the January 25th, 2022 meeting. Any discussion? Roll call, or clicker vote. Okay, minutes are approved. Item number 3 is a public hearing, AM 22-001, discuss and consider action on an amendment of the City of North Platte Code of Ordinance, Chapter 130, General Offenses, Firearms, Fireworks, Section 130.25, Discharge of Firearms. Judy.
Okay, and attached, you should all see a copy of the proposed ordinance 4090, which would amend the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 130. There are some special circumstances where discharge of a firearm within city limits would be feasible. For example, designation of a specific time and place for hunter education, hunter safety, or concealed carry classes would be a good use of the new proposed regulations. Using the proposed language as written would provide the city with the ability to designate those areas. Planning staff has been in communication with Chief Reeves, and he has no objections to the proposed amendments. Basically, what we added, you can see, is underlined. Areas approved by the governing body would be what we added. The other, all of the rest of that information was pretty much in the original code, just kind of reworded and put in a different format, I guess is what you would say. So there's not a lot of changes there. It's just areas approved by the governing body is mostly what the biggest change is. I did ask Kendall Allison with the police department to be here, just in case you had any questions, as Chief Reeves was unable to attend. So if you do have any questions, he is here. And this is a public hearing, so, sorry.
As a public hearing, we would ask you to come to the podium and give us your name and your address for the record, and we're open for comments from the public.
Madam Chair, I move to close the public hearing.
Budge moved to close the hearing. Do we have a second?
Second.
Bain seconded. Any comments? Okay, click or vote. Michelle?
Yeah, sorry.
And the public hearing is closed. Okay, discussion amongst us.
This literally is to allow hunting in one of these overlay districts, correct?
That is correct. When we were talking about this, we talked with Chief Reeves a little bit, and he did say that this was something that should have probably been done a long time ago, just for other types of purposes, like the examples that I did give. But yes, why this is coming now and why this is coming so quickly is to allow hunting in the next agenda item, which is the overlay district.
No concerns from the PD on this, correct?
I move to approve an amendment to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Chapter 130, General Offense Firearms, Fireworks, Section 130.25, Discharge of Firearms.
Second.
Been moved by Winders, seconded by Jett. Any discussion? Click or vote.
It's been a while.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. We move on to item number 4, which is also a public hearing, AM 22-002, to discuss and consider action on an amendment to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Chapter 156 zoning, adding sections 156.260 and 156.261 relating to the establishment of the City of North Platte Public Power and Irrigation Overlay District. It is a Judy.
Again, you should have all received a copy of the review comments, and with that is a copy of proposed ordinance 4091, which would amend the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances to allow a overlay district. Over the past several months, the city has been working on annexations under our 2021 City of North Platte annexation study, East 4th Street and East Highway 30. One of the proposed annexations includes property that's owned currently by Central Nebraska Public Power and Irrigation District. Through the annexation process, CNPPID has voiced a few concerns with some of the city's current zoning and enforcement regulations regarding their current operations. To help alleviate those concerns, the City Engineering and Planning Department is proposing a public power and irrigation overlay district. The intent of the proposed public power and irrigation overlay district is to provide public power and irrigation districts with basic guidelines that would allow for normal and regular operations of the districts to function in areas that may conflict with existing regulations. When there is a conflict, these overlay districts supersede other city regulations set forth in the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances. Planning staff has no objections to the proposed establishment of the City of North Platte Public Power and Irrigation Overlay District. Now, I did set around the table the information in the ordinance that you received last week. We did change a little bit in the ordinance. There's just a few wording changes. The designated district, instead of calling it the Central Public Power and Irrigation District, we just took out central and made it a Public Power and Irrigation District. That way it's not specific, in case we wanted to use these same regulations with another overlay district that would include a public power district. Added Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, we added commission there. Couple of other minor changes were in there, but other than that, the bulk of it remained the same. And a representative from Central Public Power is in the audience. If you have any questions for him, or I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, this is a public hearing, and so we invite anyone to come up and speak. Give us your name and your address, please.
Hello, my name is Mike Drain. I work for the Central Nebraska Public Power and Irrigation District. We are located 415 Lincoln Street in Holdridge, Nebraska. I just want to come in and express our support for the creation of this overlay district. To be honest, we really hadn't given a lot of thought to the city's zoning and the potential impacts on us prior to the annexation process that is now underway. But had been pointed out to us, we already lie within city zoning, annexation or not, because of the extension of the zoning out to the 2-mile period. While generally we have an expectation, and I think that it's also shared by your own city staff, that city ordinances shouldn't interfere with our operations anyway. This is a good additional step to just, I think, reduce the chances that someone could interpret any sort of city zoning as interfering with our operations. We support it. Thank you very much for the opportunity of work with your staff, specifically with Judy and Brent in the development of this overlay zone.
Thank you.
And I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have.
Okay, thank you. And anyone else?
Madam Chair, I'd move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Budge moved. Bain seconded to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Clicker vote. As soon as Michelle gets it up there. Very good. Thank you, Michelle. The public hearing is closed. Any questions or discussion amongst ourselves?
It's conceivable you'd use this at some other point. I mean, because this isn't the only public power district that operates in our neck of the woods.
That is correct. Nebraska Public Power, Dawson in some instances. So yeah, there is a possibility that if we were to annex some of those properties, that we would use something very similar. And could just use the same one depending on what the situation is.
And you feel like it's really valuable to get this on our books as a city and in our plan, versus just relying on.
Yes, there are, so, the public power or public entities don't actually have to comply with a lot of city zoning regulations because they have a right of eminent domain. So there's been a lot of case law that says they don't have to comply because there are other public entities. But that doesn't completely exempt them from all city ordinances. It does from zoning, but not from all. So for example, the hunting portion of it, that's not granted to them with the right of eminent domain. So putting that in there as an overlay district would ensure that they still do have the right to hunt, even though our regulations say there's no hunting in city limits. This one would allow that, if that makes sense.
And I think it's just like looking to the future, you know, if that, if something gets developed there, then, you know, and we can back this off, but it still wouldn't matter because really well, maybe hunting would change it, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an overlay district, just like zoning. It's nothing that's ever written in stone. You know, 15, 20 years from now, if people feel like this overlay district shouldn't be there, they can go through the same process to change it, amend it, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But the council would still ultimately have some control over where you can hunt in some of these overlay districts. If I'm reading this ordinance we just approved correctly, which would be, they'd still have to approve it as the governing body.
Yes.
Okay. Madam Chair, I would move to approve the amendment to the North Platte City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 156 zoning, adding sections 156.260 and 156.261 relating to the establishment of the City of North Platte Public Power and Irrigation Overlay District.
Second.
Moved by Fudge, seconded by Winder. Any discussion? Are you sure? Okay, Michelle. Clicker vote. And the motion carries. Okay, thank you. Number 5, discussion of zoning code update.
Just basically want to kind of give you an update of where we are. The notice of public hearing for the changes in the residential zoning just went out to the paper, should be published either Thursday, did you get confirmation, Thursday or Saturday? Thursday. It'll be published in Thursday, so we will have a public hearing on the 22nd to go over all of the rezoning and the map when it comes to that residential information. So 2 meetings this week, or this month, but that's where we're at with that. So forging forward.
So once it would clear here, then it has to go 3 readings at council, correct?
Yes, it doesn't have to go 3 readings, but I'm assuming it probably will go 3 readings unless they decide they want to get it done quickly.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other comments? Questions? Okay. Item number 6, old business. None? New business. Do you want to say something about the training?
Yep, NPZA, I sent out that digital workshop. If anybody's interested in attending, just give me your email. Doesn't cost very much, doesn't cost the city very much at all to do that, to get whoever on there. You can pop in and out, it's a Zoom. If you sign up, you don't have to attend all day. You can attend 1 session if you want to, so if you're interested, let me know. That's the 18th is when it occurs. And there's a couple of different sessions on there, business improvement districts, accessory dwelling units, GIS and planning, annexations, which we kind of already went through, but. So anyway, just some information, and then of course, Planning 101, if you're interested in just getting some more information about what you're supposed to be doing as a planning commissioner, even though you guys do an awesome job.
I would
Always learn something.
I would encourage you, at least, if you can at all, at least attend one of the sessions. If you can attend all of them, that would be great. Not only are the presenters good, but there's usually a chance for some interaction, and you find out that we have some unique situations, but every other city also does. And sometimes it's interesting to hear how they have solved their issues, and it's like, well, yeah, we discovered that a long time ago. And it kind of, some of it is good because you can say, oh yeah, we're doing a pretty good job most of the time. So I would encourage you to participate as much as you can. Anything else? We are adjourned.
Thank you all for coming on a not your night to be here. It's awesome.
Glad to help.
The rest of the annexation area that is not central, what then would allow hunting in the rest of the annexation area, as everybody's been saying they want to do?
Okay, so if we decide that we are going to do another area and somebody, again, is, maybe it's in the river,